So about every, 2 weeks, I get an email or a message from somebody who asks about teaching in Taiwan. I don't want this channel to be an ESL channel, so I haven't made a video about it. There are plenty of these channels on the internet already. This video is about my experience, the good, the bad and the ugly. So maybe it can help you decide if teaching English in Taiwan is for you or not. Okay, so I'll start this with a disclaimer. I didn't go to Taiwan to teach English. Teaching English was a job for me to fund my Chinese study. It was a means to an ends. I also didn't plan to stay for 15 years. I thought a year in Taiwan would be a cool experience to brag about years later when back in the UK. I also thought it'd be amazing if I could actually learn to have a basic conversation in Chinese. When I first arrived in Taiwan, I got one of those fresh off the boat jobs. We made plays and did art projects. I took them to the zoo and Taipei's museums. Back then, Taipei was new and exciting. I loved everything about it. Taipei 101 had just been built, and it was the tallest building in the world. A lot of the things that Taiwanese people disliked about Taiwan, I thought were really exciting. The earthquakes and typhoons were exotic. The threat of China was something that didn't really seem like a legitimate threat, more of a chance to view political posturing up close. The entire time I lived in Taiwan, I never thought for 1 minute that Taiwan was actually in any real danger. I soon became conversational in Chinese, and all those things that first excited me about Taiwan became normal. I got to know some of the parents and found the families of Taipei to be very nice. Those early years in Taiwan seem so innocent looking back. If you can't do it, teach it, is what we say in the UK. We grew up with this feeling that teaching was a second choice kind of job. Looking back, I regret paying attention to these voices. My mother is a teacher. She taught French. I remember her describing it as a bloody thankless job. I suspect she had valid reasons for describing it as such. I don't doubt teaching a class of 30 kids in London isn't much fun. I would never describe teaching English in Taiwan as a thankless job, for one simple reason. Taiwanese people on the whole have a lot of respect for teachers, and certainly more so than in Britain. If you do a good job, and the parents realise that, they will show you appreciation. I taught all ages, some older than my own parents. However, the majority of my time, I taught English to teenagers that all went to the famous schools, with very ambitious and well-educated parents. I read all the great British novels with those kids, like Black Beauty, Gulliver's Travels and The Hobbit.
Hi, I am Angela. I was born in America, but I'm Taiwanese.
I started making videos with my students because they were all obsessed with YouTube. I thought it would get them excited about learning English.
Yesterday after school, I went back to my home. After I came out the elevator, I heard something coming after me, but when I turned my head, I didn't see anything. And then, I got to my door. The weird thing was, I couldn't find my keys.
My keys!
Just then, I felt a sharp pain. Then, I fell to the ground. I could feel somebody opening my bed. Then I saw a ninja running away from me.
It's a ninja. Wow.
Where will the ninja take my homework?
I took them to art galleries, and some even visited me in England. These teenagers were extremely smart and also under immense pressure to pass very difficult exams. As a teacher, your students' performance will reflect on you, and it's impossible not to feel that pressure too. I felt very proud of my students. They often won big competitions or were at the top of their classes. However, 3 years back to back, I had students tell me they had a classmate that jumped out of the window. I also saw many of my students drinking energy drinks like Red Bull so they could stay awake late at night while studying. Some of them told me they rarely slept more than 4 hours a night. I often worried about the long-term damage this was doing to their bodies. The competition for places in these famous schools is immense. Most of my students are now studying abroad in Western country or in one of the top Taiwanese medical schools. For me, the biggest downside to teaching English in Taiwan is that you won't have any career in the way you could have in your own country. I managed other foreign teachers in a school for a while and wrote their curriculum. I also won Teacher of the Year award for one of the big chain schools, but there really isn't much further you can go after that. If you aren't a very ambitious person and you don't mind living that far away from home, teaching in Taiwan can give you a fulfilling and meaningful existence and a fascinating look into Taiwanese culture. Taiwan is a civilized country with a dramatic landscape and a fascinating language, culture and history. Teaching has been a job that has meant a lot to me over the years and has personally given me a lot of memories that I will cherish for the rest of my life. I taught many of those kids for over 10 years. Watching them grow up was one of the most meaningful things I ever did. And looking back, it is actually what I miss about Taiwan the most. I know that might sound a bit cheesy, but it's honestly the truth. I know it's been a while since the last video. I've been moving house, so been a little bit busy. Thank you for your patience and thank you for everyone who supported me on Patreon, PayPal. And so many people bought my line stickers. Thank you so much. Peace out, guys. See you next time.